question, what is a painting? People will say it's a picture of something. And generally speaking, they have the idea that the more accurately that something is represented, the better. Our violinists have been playing from the score, accurately painted note by note in the picture behind them. The rest of the picture is just as accurately detailed. Now, all this is fascinating enough as imitation, but if it were only imitation, the picture would be a stunt, not a work of art. The art comes in the skill of selection and combination. Behind what appears to be a casual, realistic arrangement, there is an arbitrary, abstract scheme. It's a rhythm of straight lines. Vertical lines are painted into the picture as the crack of the door, center line of the violin, the bow, sides of the hinges, and the edges of the newspaper clipping. These verticals are crossed by horizontals. At this point, it wouldn't take much to change this skeleton into a contemporary abstract painting. Make the lines black against white, fill one rectangle with blue, fill another with yellow, fill a third with red, and you have a plagiarism of a painting by Piet Mondrian. It would lack the subtleties of a real Mondrian, like this one, which is called Rhythm of Straight Lines, and is a typical work by a modern painter who wanted to reduce painting to the purest essence of its fundamentals as he saw them. Now, some of these fundamentals are present in the old violin scheme, and each of the two pictures helps us to find more in the other, although at first glance they could hardly seem more different. But as you may have noticed, the old violin has not only its system of vertical and horizontal cross lines, but also some diagonals formed by the angle of the letter and the sheet of music. In addition, all these angles are punctuated by some relieving circles. All of which serve as foils to set off the curves of the violin itself, the only object in the picture that has this particular kind of reverse curve. Now look at this painting called Musical Poems by Georges Braque. It's a cubist painting, but it too has its system of generally horizontal and vertical lines, and a second system of diagonals strongly defined by a folded newspaper instead of the letter, and bearing the first letters of the word journal. It also has a spotting of generally circular forms. While again, all of these serve to emphasize the curve of the violin itself, just as in the harnett. Here, of course, the violin and everything else in the cubist picture have apparently been broken up and the parts have been reassembled at will by the painter. And yet the two schemes do have a basic similarity, although one picture is realistic and the other one almost entirely abstract. And one more thing, the realistic harnett makes a great point of imitating textures. The abstract picture too, although in a different way, makes a great point of textures. They are real textures, not imitated ones. The violin is textured by rough lines actually scratched into the paint while still wet with a comb or some such toothed object. And pencil is roughly applied to bring out the grain of the canvas. And another area is textured to suggest rough wood. And so we might say as one definition of a painting, that a painting is an arrangement or a structure of lines, colors, and textures. But lines, colors, and textures are not only structural, they can also be expressive. They are both structural and expressive in the painting that we call Whistler's Mother. The arrangement or composition of a painting is so important, so basic, that an artist is probably more conscious of it than of any other single technical aspect of his work or of other artists' work. It was so important to Whistler that he insisted upon calling the picture of his mother arrangement in gray and black. Each element in it is reducible to a rectangular or a near rectangular equivalent. The subdued colors and the simple shapes account more than anything else for the mood of dignity and resignation that make the picture one of the best loved ones in the world. The colors were brilliant and in conflicting shapes. The effect would be one of agitation and excitement instead of the peacefulness and quiet that Whistler so beautifully expressed. So we can add to our definition that a painting is an expression of a mood or an idea. These lines are also the lines of a dance, but of a different kind of dance, in another Japanese print of an actor dancing. We don't need the evidence of his sword and his facial grimace to tell us that this is a different kind of dance, harsh, violent, masculine, and agitated. The lines tell us. The lines in both of these Japanese prints express action, and by doing so, they express mood. But lines can also be used to give a feeling of life to a static figure. In Ingres' Madame Leblanc, we feel that this is a charming, graceful woman because the lines, as the artist has drawn them, have that quality. In the hands of the master, the line can express just about anything asked of it. Actually, the drawing, for all its appearance of accuracy, departs widely from photographic reality. Everything is adjusted to a linear pattern of fluid harmony. Even an awkward and ill-proportioned woman would appear graceful when drawn in lines as beautifully designed as these. The most famous face in the world is best known for its enigmatic smile. But the face of Mona Lisa, with its mysterious expression, is only the climax of a composition in which every part contributes to the same effect. The hands are nearly as famous as the face. The landscape. It is a landscape whose bridges and roads seem never to have been crossed by men, or only by some breed of men who inhabit the special and mysterious world of the Mona Lisa. Rivers, lakes, seas, and mountains, its deep skies. It is like no landscape that man has ever seen, yet it is a logical one that could have been created by the natural processes of geology. This wonderful picture is a knotting of serpentine lines, not merely across the surface, but going into the depth of the picture. They do as much as the enigmatic smile and the fantastic landscape to give the picture the quality of deep reflection that sets the Mona Lisa apart from all other paintings. As a contrast, let's compare the Mona Lisa, painted by an artist who pondered infinite mysteries in the Renaissance, with a painting in the 19th century by Renoir, whose philosophy of life was based upon a joy in the physical world that had at its core an adulation of woman. All the subtle complications of Mona Lisa are replaced by large, simple forms. The head is an almost solid oval, which is echoed in the hat rim. And the torso is similarly an oval. The form is full and direct, as that of an object of nature. Compared with the Mona Lisa, the figure of Madame Renoir faces us in much the same position. But there are differences beyond the fact that the Mona Lisa is a complication of intertwining lines, while Madame Renoir is a solid, straightforward image. In the upper third of the pictures, we are faced by both women, although Mona Lisa looks at us with faintly veiled eyes, while Madame Renoir gazes at us directly. But in the central part of the pictures, Madame Renoir's figure continues to face us, while that of Mona Lisa shifts subtly away from us. Finally, Madame Renoir's hands rest simply in her lap, while Mona Lisa's, turning once more toward us, are in an exquisitely studied position. Everything about the Renoir image is fresh and sparkling. The large, simple quality of the figure might be heavy, ponderous even, without the quick touch of the brush in such details as the escaping locks of hair and the bright, fresh roses on the hat, which are a still life study in themselves. A pure joy of paint reflects Renoir's joy in life. Everything that Renoir painted reflected this joy, and it was summarized for him in women, in young girls, in flowers, in sunlight, in fields and trees and skies, as in this picture in the meadow. A painting is a statement, then, of the philosophy of the man who produced it. For Renoir, woman was a symbol of the joy of life and the natural world, while Leonardo da Vinci made her a symbol of the enigma of life. Mona Lisa speaks of the intellectualism of the Renaissance, for a painting is a reflection of the age in which it is created. But nearly 400 years later, a contemporary of Renoir's, Edgar Degas, found woman as enigmatic as Leonardo had. But being a man of the 19th century, he expressed himself in the bourgeois factuality of his age. But Woman with Chrysanthemums is a thoroughly unconventional portrait. The woman is pushed clear to one side of the picture, while its center is occupied by an explosion of flowers, instead of by the sitter's face. She is surrounded not by a mysterious landscape, but by a pleasant interior. And the woman, instead of looking at us as the subject of a portrait usually does, or at something else within the picture, looks at something outside the picture. Something apparently familiar to her, but unidentified and tantalizingly unidentifiable to us. She is enigmatic indeed, a 19th century Mona Lisa who inhabits an ordinary room instead of a magical other world. And so a painting is many things. It can be, and usually is, a picture of something. It is a sculpture of lines. It is an expression of a mood, of an idea, of the philosophy of the man who created it, and of the age that produced it. It can be a dream, as it is in Arno Böcklin's Island of the Dead. Or Paul Klee's Fish Magic. It can be a nightmare, as it is in Bosch's Garden of Eden and Hell. A social comment, as it is in Grant Wood's American Gothic. Or Diego Rivera's Liberation of the Peon, with political overtones. There could be 1,000 definitions of what a painting is, all true, and none of them complete. But one important answer to the question, what is a painting, is offered by the painter Honoré Daumier in his picture, The Print Collector. An ordinary man is indulging his hobby at one of the hundreds of picture shops in Paris. Behind him are mysterious shadows. He emerges into equally mysterious lights. The commonplace shop is magical. The commonplace man is ennobled. This ordinary man is not a human animal, but a human being who thinks, wonders, and tries to explain. 30,000 years ago, man was painting pictures in caves, and he is still painting. He will continue to paint as long as he continues to be a man. This curious, unceasing activity of the artist, and the unwavering fascination his images hold for the rest of us, suggest that paintings are questions that men ask themselves about the mystery that surrounds them, and sometimes they are answers.
That is, what is a painting?